night. Good evening. I'm an attention whore, so I'm going to wait until everyone is focused on me. And when I feel as if I'm getting the attention I think I deserve, yeah? My mother's been annoyed with me for that for years, but that's okay. That's her fault. Good evening, everyone. Sorry. Good morning. Okay, I got a better response. I like that a little bit more. I like the attention, you know. That's really why CAISO invited me to be the host this evening. And I thought, yeah, why not, right? So it's wonderful to be here with everyone. I'm sure you all are all excited to be here. The lights are in my eyes, but I will say when I entered, many are hottie in the room, so give yourself a clap. Yeah? I do appreciate eye candy, so you guys did a great job. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's get into BackChat tonight. Before we jump into the fun, we're going to talk a little bit about the history of BackChat. So how many of you all here know about BackChat? Is this your first time? Are you popping your BackChat cherry? Raise your hand. All the, who's the first time? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, great. So I'm guessing you're going to be following CAISO at the end of this show, right? You're going to follow us on Facebook, on Instagram. Yeah? Thank you so much. So this year's theme for BackChat 2025 is Queer Resilience. We're celebrating Caribbean LGBTQI+ voices. And this is brought to you by CAISO, Sex and Gender Justice, and the Bocas Lit Fest. So let's make some noise. I don't want to call nobody out, but I was sensing real wajang energy in the room, so I don't feel as the most noise all I could make. Let's make some noise for CAISO and Bocas Lit Fest. A little better, we get in there. Do we need to send shots around, Angelique? Do we have to give them shots? Is that, can I do that? Do I have permission? I have permission to do what I want. I love this. Okay, so we're centering resilience, resistance of our local writers and performers, and beyond that, our community. Because we know for 2025, it's been a year. It's been a long, tiring year. How many of you all are feeling fed up? No? That's good, better than me. So CAISO has partnered with Bocas since 2017 to bring together and feature LGBTQI+ writers from the Caribbean and the diaspora. Since 2018, we've called this event BackChat in honor of the groundbreaking Caribbean LGBT literary readings in New York over 20 years ago, which was curated by our late founder, Colin Robinson, a friend of CAISO, Rosamund S. King. I think it's important every time we're aiming for the future, we need to recognize our past, appreciate it, and honor it. So thank you, Colin. This year, we're thrilled to have the support of Queer Livelihoods Project and to expand and host our first BackChat visiting writer, Lesley-Ann Wanliss from Jamaica. Lesley-Ann is over here in the performer section. So if you're performing tonight, this is where you should be. If you're not performing, I'm happy to have you here, okay? For us, BackChat is about talking back. We're embracing our power and our perspectives as Caribbean LGBTQI+ people. CAISO remains committed to this annual event, as well as the annual art exhibition, and grabs every opportunity to feature Caribbean queer voices. For over 15 years, CAISO has offered the public a consistent voice and face for LGBTQI+ issues and human rights. Celebrating the creative imagination remains at the center of our work. We can't transform our cultures if we can't imagine a new way. Is that correct? I like that. Starting to feel like Miss. Okay, so before we jump into our performers, I have a couple pointers. The event was free. This beat was not, so I'm expecting everyone to contribute to CAISO's food drive. So that will be to the back of the room. You can drop your donations. If you have not been able to bring any canned goods or any items, we accept cash. Angelique, You know Angelique? Does everyone here know Angelique? Right, okay. Do you know Johanna? Beautiful. So if you have cash donations, please bring it to Angelique or Johanna. If you give it to me, I will keep it, okay? But you can, you know? All right, and as I said before, CAISO, CAISO, yeah, you see that? Facebook, Instagram. Where else are we right now? YouTube, we have a website. I'm just gonna make up platforms just now for you all to just follow us, right? Pull your phones out and get going. Wholeness and Justice Program is doing phenomenal work for our community. It is more than the numbers, it's about the quality of our livelihoods, and they're working every day to support our community members who've experienced violations and need support. So get involved with us. The Educate to Empower and Inclusive Futures campaigns were amazing work for educating the public as well as empowering our community to advocate better for ourselves. And there has been the recently launched Queer Archives Project. Are you all familiar with the Queer Archives Project? No? So only the performers will get shot since they're the only ones who are familiar with the Queer Archives Project. But if you want to find out more, we'll talk about it later on, and you can visit queerarchivestt.org. Yeah. All right, and there's also going to be a brand new WhatsApp community group. Okay. I didn't even know that was happening, so that's good stuff. Without further ado, let's begin with the people who believe in the words Carpe Diem. Do you know how challenging it is to say, I'll apply for an open mic? Yeah, I'm gonna bare my soul, be vulnerable, show people my talent. It's tough. So let's make a round of applause for some of the bravest people in the room with us, those who seized the day, saw the opportunity for an open mic, and said, I will not hesitate. Our first performer is going to be offering us some poetry. Megan, also very well known as Meg, I'm sure you all are familiar with her, is a full-time teacher and a part-time foodie content creator, which is interesting because I'm a full-time foodie. She has a love for chemistry, cooking, especially Asian food, travel, anime, having fun with her friends, and of course, women. Come on. Okay, Meg. Okay, I see what you're doing here. Her piece is entitled Hope, and it is dedicated to a close friend who recently passed away from health issues. Okay, that was anticlimactic, I'm sorry. Bring some hope to the stage, Meg.
Thank you. Okay. Good night, everyone. Before I start this program, I just want to clarify one other thing. Yes, it's dedicated to the person who passed away recently, but this was written when I realized I developed feelings for her, right? So sit back, relax, and I hope you guys enjoy. I don't know how I feel about any of this. I could sense my chest squeezing, my heart beating, my stomach queasy. I want to crawl into a warm, comforting space and just bawl my eyes out. You feel me? I want to scream, but no words are coming out. Coming out, get it? But I'm confused. Why am I suddenly feeling like this? I don't like it. No, not one bit. I refuse to believe that this is what I think it might be. Ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way. I'm going through this again. I'm going through this again over a friend, dog. I hate feeling like this. I hate feeling helpless and pathetic that I can't pursue to get someone I want without getting hurt. I refuse to go through this again. I can't do this. I can't believe I'm falling for someone I know I cannot be with. I will ruin her. She's too precious for this world. I will corrupt her. She's too innocent of a girl. I will hurt her. She's mine. I want her. But how? When? Why? What can I possibly offer to such a gem? How can I improve her life for the better? Cheesy lines on autistic risk can only get me so far. Well, I mean, I do have a car, and I feel like I can be vulnerable with her no matter what. It's easy to say, just be yourself. But how can I? When the biggest flaw about myself is myself. When I'm so overbearing, I push people away. When I'm so clingy, I can't make anyone stay. When I'm so fucking annoying, I force people to cheat on me. Please, please tell me, how can I love somebody who I can tell doesn't want me? But Meg, did you ask her? She said herself she can't read people. The thing is, I could ask her. But why? Why would I ask her? To ruin another friendship? To end up in another relationship and undergo hardship? No! I said I refuse to go through that again. My heart, it can only take so much. I thought I could survive having another partner, but like was said, maybe I was just added bandages to open wounds instead of letting it heal, trying to let it seal it up so I don't have to deal with this shit and focus on my meal. But even with that, I lost my zeal. I need help. The mere fact that I'm writing after so many months of being absent to journal my deepest, darkest thoughts, it's a sign. I thought I'd fallen in love before, so there was no way things could be worse than those times. But I was wrong. I'm in love, but I don't want to be in love. I don't even want to be in like. I just want to stick to my script. Say it with me. Work, friends, content, family. Work, friends, content, family. What if she wants to marry me? Meg, please. I'm begging. I plead. I'm on my knees. I have no more strength to live, no more fucks to give without her. I cannot continue to have my heart so dependent on someone like this. It can just be my hormones talking. I'm not sure at this point. I wonder if she feels the same way, though. She might not be able to read people, but maybe, just maybe, there might be some hope. Thank you.
The theme is, yeah? So tonight's theme is queer resilience, but that poem really, it felt a lot like queer longing. It's too relatable. Too relatable. I think about it often when I see, Meg Thee Stallion on TV. I'm just like, the things. Yeah? Let's move along to our next open mic performer. You're all familiar with him. He is a queer, quirky Caribbean writer and creative who enjoys putting a pun, fun, or fanciful phrase, possibly filled with alliteration in all his work. As a fierce advocate for the gender and sexual minority, all his endeavors seek to bring visibility through delectable and witty Caribbean storytelling. For those of you all who haven't guessed us yet, I am referring to the inimitable Morby Man.
A good day? Yeah, good night. My eyes are up here, for those looking at my cock. Being gay is no joke. They say, you're so funny, you're so slack, you had to be gay. Is this a punchline? And is queerness the dirtiness I wear like on Juve? Call me quack, quack, because I duck in the stairs when I in my flamboyant outfits, when I lime in my super short shorts. They say I'm making fares. Sometimes it's the freeness, because I free to be me. But after freeness is fair. Fair to take this dick, because they don't want to bend over here, or fair to be seen with me anywhere. But when we are alone is 1 palm, 2 palm on my shaft. But being gay is no joke, but still all of we laugh. But sometimes I look busted. Ain't you gay? You're not supposed to be looking like this. Like gayness is supposed to be a glow up, supposed to hide all the bullshit. We just have to put up with, especially when you're concerned with who I deal with. Yes, I with people, man. Because people, man, are hard to find. Because everybody boyfriend was once sleeping with somebody else who was in this line. Oh, that's joke. Some of us sharing and swapping. But we need to have each other's back when it comes to defending all of our rights, whether we upping or downing or bottoming or topping. You need to have my back again and again and again when the homophobes attack. Because remember, being gay is no joke. Yes, I could make you laugh. They put me on the program as comedy because every time people see me is a laugh. Just to remind you, when it comes to those who think that we should not exist, should not be present, should not be loud and proud and stand up in a crowd, stand up in the bedroom too, but sometimes not so loud. Remember, being gay is no joke. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Moby Man. Sometimes a little bitter to go down, but very refreshing, right? Let's take a moment to thank our interpreters with us tonight. It takes a lot of energy. We have Johanna. Come on. All right. Maya was working right before, and Ian will be joining in. Let's appreciate that, because when we're talking about inclusivity, we mean everyone, yeah? CAISO is doing everything they can to ensure our entire community feels seen, heard, and welcomed. Our next performer is a newcoming writer with recently published prose, poetry, and translations. Okay, all right. Their passion as a storyteller is personal narrative. But for BackChat, they'll be reading from their fiction short story, Dress Her. Alex is a returnee rehoming in the Caribbean from North American diaspora and descends from Guyanese and Sicilian lineages. Their migration and family's migration experiences greatly influenced their artistry. Let's welcome Alex to the stage.
Good night. Along South America, right after the Caribbean Sea ends, there sits a coastline that once wore a long shawl of mangroves with long tassels intertwining and tangling from above the water surface to deep in the mud where the crabs lived. Over the last 500 years, pale-skinned men in boats came from faraway lands and ripped away Mama's shawl, leaving her naked. And the blue ocean turned brown from the silt she kept bleeding out. They cut into her down below her skin with lacerations of plantations and lesions of mines that even today they sprinkle with lye and salt as she keeps bleeding. Well, she still hasn't formed scars. Her trees bear them with everything they witness, with each new ring they form around their trunks. Across the many rivers, the mother's first children called this place the land of many waters, and still today we call it Guyana. But even as she bleeds, Mama still cares for the new children those pale-skinned men brought on boats as much as her first children. She and the mother's sisters and sister mothers who come with those children across the waters from faraway lands always watch over. They're always listening, and they talk to us too. When the sun rises from the east, he pats each one of those houses on stilts, good morning, from the upstairs house to the downstairs house where the little lambs, goats, dogs, cats, and maybe a donkey nestle together. And the cocks crow to announce his arrival as the tall night walkers, walking wide and big without leaving a single footprint, stand high into the dark sky, higher than any moko jambi or stilt walker, if stacked, find their way to sleep before his bright rays kiss the mango, guava, and banana trees in the yards below. The houses are speckled whites, pinks, and greens, and more, like the magical fruits on the trees or some that just fell that morning, covered in the misty dew, ripe and sweet for eating. The wind carries the salty air from the sea as the fishermen set off in their little boats, and on a strong day, you can smell that air by the back dam and rice paddies where mama's lungs still breathe powerful breaths, sucking like a fireside bellows. And the people dare not venture too far beyond into the realm of the jaguars and anacondas. On the other side of the Demerara River, amongst the homes of the old plantations, Kensington, Bourbon, and Pain for Fortune, the wind has been calling to the elders, dress her. And the birds echo with their song too, dress her. The village elders didn't understand the wind's words, bouncing on the leaves and swiveling around the mint masjid minarets. Dress your newly born daughter, whistled the wind. But the calls were lost and eaten up back into the land. In these years in Guyana, houses stood more empty than full. Families disappeared as they moved away, far away to a place where her calls are not even heard through the long undersea phone cables. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Let's make one more round of applause for the open mic performers. It's not easy coming to the stage, you know. And we know that. How many of us have to live our truth despite it all? Just me? Okay. That's all right. I don't mind. Yeah. A little bit more poetry for us right now. We have Tamara Ali, a Trinidadian writer and professional daydreamer. I love that. I'm not professional, I just do it for fun. Born to two writers, Tamara was putting her pen to paper from an early age, writing everything from songs to poetry, eventually publishing her debut novel, Red Like Love, at age 19. Yeah. Tamara's recent project, 19 years old and published a novel. Okay. I barely survived Cape. Tamara's recent project is her upcoming poetry book, A Pretty Thing in the Middle of Nowhere, a collection of sapphic poems that tell a story of love, heartbreak, and healing. Tamara wants to use her writing to give representation to Caribbean youth, women, and the LGBTQ+ community. Let's welcome Tamara to the stage. Bocas and CAISO has an amazing lineup. Let's enjoy.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to read two poems from my upcoming poetry book. The first one is called God Made Girls, and this poem I wrote really to kind of deconstruct the heteronormative ideals and religious guilt I learned growing up. Boys were made to rule the world. To keep the boys company, God made girls. Boys were made to make the money. To spend it, God made girls. Boys were made to carry on their father's last name. To carry the child, God made girls. But who made the boys who would rather sweep the house than go to war? Who made the girls who would rather die childless than live as his wife? Did they make themselves that way after seeing it on TV? But why would anyone choose to be gay when the gays are always bullied? Me, personally, I'm going to marry a man. However, I've been diagnosed with bisexuality. I think that means that I can turn into a lesbian just by touching a pretty girl's hand. But do lesbians even hold hands? I've always been taught how to be a girl. And of course, my girlhood was validated once I earned the attention of a boy. I've always been taught that I was made for a boy, like how Eve was made for Adam. I've only been shown the movies on how to win the boy. No one taught me how to be a lesbian. I am not a lesbian. I'm just dramatic. Maybe when God made me, he misspelled lesbian. A lesbian would know how to be the boy and take the lead and kiss her. I barely know how to hold her hand. Still, I must ask, if I wasn't made for girls, why does it feel like she was made for me? Thank you. But wait, I have one more. This second poem is called "THURS is a Yellow Flower." It's also in my poetry book. My body is a brothel, unable to make you stay, but can always make you come. My mind is a racetrack, unable to think as quickly as it reacts. My heart is a tombstone, unable to leave from the ground that holds its buried memories. My heart is a tombstone, heavy in my chest. My heart is a place of eternal grief, a place decorated with flowers and kind words to distract from its sadness. A place that is not the peaceful home of a body, but the lonely cage of a soul. Her body is comfort food, craving my gluttony. Her mind is a chess game, strategic with every move, a game I always lose. My heart is a tombstone, hers is a yellow flower. A delicate happiness sprinkled over my cold corpse. A yellow flower left to wither away when it realizes that my heart is not a garden. It is not a home. It is only a grave. Thank you.
So what else going on? Yeah, that's now. How many of you all got new captions for IG from those poems? I got like 3 captions there. Y'all gonna think I'm so cool in a couple of weeks. All right, our next performer, not 100% cotton, but 100% that girl. She's Polly, and I'm not talking polyester. It's the creative Caribbean queen, Velvet. Yeah. Once the hostess with the mostest, now a featured speaker and performer at BackChat. Emerging from our sister island, Tobago, Velvet first made her appearance in 2018. After experiencing adversity as a member of the LGBTQI+ community, Velvet stepped out to lend a hand and a voice to those who don't always have the opportunity to speak up for themselves. Velvet, could you grace us with your presence, please? And step away now.
Yeah, a little tall. Good night, BackChat. How y'all doing? Thank you again, CAISO, for inviting me. I wrote this piece back in 2019 when I performed for the first time in 2020. I reworked it for the climate that we're in now, as well as in my personal life, so I hope you all enjoy. Also, forgive me, I'm a little blind. I don't have my glasses. It's okay, don't bring them. I'm good. I can do this. I remember my days of cartoons and toys, feeling like a girl, but born a boy. I grew up in a house wanting for nothing and had no needs. Mother was from Tobago, daddy was a Sudanese. Within 4 walls, a white ceiling above, was a household run by Jesus' love. But I lived in fear for the gay within. For Jesus' love taught, girl, you a sin. I spent my years stuffed in a pocket, my heart cold and sealed like a locket. But then I stuffed that locket into society's box, out here controlled by the fucking patriarch. They told me, play like a boy, walk like a man. It felt like carrying 3 cooler through a Panday North stand. Man screaming down my existence, the rhythm section roaring, tried to sway with the crowd for a life that was too boring. Anyways, I know I'm not making any sense, and all your time is expensive. But I just want to pour out my pensive. I wanted the hair, the nails, the hips that curved. I loved watching my mother walk through the kitchen while she cooked and swerved. I remember she sat me down one day and said, "Son, I love you just the way you are, but I know there's something weighing heavy on your heart." For the years and the time had gone by, and she knew I was tired of living a lie. That man named stepfather had come, and I couldn't wait for him to go. And one day he kicked that bucket, and from it, it was like water, then blessings flowed. I packed my bag and never looked back. Like a good weave, you couldn't trace my tracks. I sought and found a love and grew my family tree. This commune I found made me see the real me. In a world of toxic behaviors and dangerous men, I have much right as any other person and the responsibility to defend. The strength of a woman helps me to be a better man. If it wasn't the strength for this woman, then here I would not be able to stand. So if anyone come to challenge me and say that I am any less than, I'll show them this and how it does stand. But it's not what I was born with that makes me right. It's for Velvet, the one who taught me I must fight. Fight for our dreams, fight for our thoughts. Those feelings inside are valid, even if you're falling apart. I stand here as Velvet and not as a man to tell you that I is, and therefore I am. Once known as Tobago's pariah, now I carry myself like my name is Mariah. Am I a drag queen? Questionable. Am I a drag performer? Debatable. I'm just trying to be out here fabulous and relatable. Because good love and support feel cheaper by the dozen. So from now on, call me or your favorite cousin. I could be a boy and I could be a girl. They even know we need more love in the world. I know that I is, and therefore I am. And if you agree with Velvet, clack, you're fine.
Yeah. Is everyone hearing me? Okay. Are you sure? But what is this? Are they fresh? Okay. Our next performer has been to the BackChat stage before. They've also been, how many awards at this point? I've lost count. But let's welcome Andre Bagoo. Andre is a writer, poet, and essayist. His books include the essay collection, The Undiscovered Country, winner of the 2021 OCM Bocas Prize for Nonfiction, as well as 5 poetry collections, most recently, Midnight Beast. Bestiaries? Bestiaries? I can't, come on, Ale. Ale, shaming me. All right. And fiction debut, The Dreaming. That was really beautiful. I did read that one. Andre, could you kindly come to the stage? Help me. How do I pronounce this word?
I think both work, actually.
Okay.
Bestiaries is fine. Bestiaries would emphasize the animal nature of
okay.
the form, but yeah.
You're never too old to learn. Never too old. Thank you.
Good night, everybody. The first poem I'm going to read is called Epithalamium. Then I heard what sounded like a great multitude, like the roar of rushing waters, and like loud peals of laughter, a river of feathered men, arrayed, multiplied, each begetting the other in a bestiary of fierce, molten muscle, astral, bright, and sparkling. Did Sappho sing of these peacocks, of that Apollo over there, silver goblet in hand? Already they have entered me in the whirl of this diamante world as I stand on the pavement at the threshold of some solemn flow. I smell frankincense and myrrh. I smell the smoke of Ash Wednesday. What if the purpose of life is play, not hedonism, not excess, but rather happiness, its pursuit, its facilitation, its gathering, its glittering? With slow steps, drunk with wine, these men crush petals of confetti and come at me, strophe after strophe, facet after facet, and one, shaking his gleaming locks, approaches, taller than tall, and says, "Worship me, the tree of heaven." Embroidered all over his body are tattoos of myrtle leaves, vines, and tropical ferns. What if life is an endless procession and no one will remember me? What if life is a lie? No one tells you there are things that will never be, never happen for you, like children, like houses, like gazing at stars while on Mount Kilimanjaro. I go with this man for the rest of Carnival Tuesday and see in him an inmost swell that projects outwards from each bulge of his body to mine. Father, crown my head with wreaths of glory. Mother, be glad for this my marriage to a king. Opened and opening within me is a vista to the eclipsed earth's golden ring, as seen from a blood moon. I kind of like abrupt endings, so. And so the last poem I'm going to read is from Midnight Bestiaries. Bestiary set at the live drawing session. It falls from the sky, this innocence, this unfinished life work I didn't know I needed in my life. It falls onto the table, falls into my sketch pad, sculpted torso, dreaming of its own ekphrasis, a fragment completing itself. Perfect shoulders, perfect legs, perfect trail of hair along a perfect chest that glows from within like a hurricane lamp. And then, too, the addition of the placid penis, relishing its own flesh, cushioned sacks engorged with seeds of love. Is it love? Once I played a lamb in a nativity play, and the angel had a crown of straw, golden. Now what stands before me is a puma, or at least that is what I see when I stare into his eyes and he stares back at me. He is not what I see, but what I am. What I draw, I become. All his poses seem to say, even when things don't work out, they work out, but only as long as you don't give up, as long as you don't stop sketching me, just as the body must succumb to its own illusion, from moment to moment, the self-imagining self. I see in his face a lion, but also in the gentle cascade of his limbs, a gazelle. Then it falls from the ceiling, the zandoli, as small as a teardrop, and I take a piece of paper and scoop it up and carry it out the front door. Here, there is no angle from which you are not seen. You must not give up. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you very much, Andre. He always brings the sweetest energy to the stage. I always feel like I want to be a nicer person whenever I'm around him. It doesn't last long, though. It really doesn't. But thanks, you get me started. Our next performer, a stranger if ever I've met one, is a Black queer writer, scholar, and activist born and raised in the Bahamas. She has lived in TNT for over 10 years, teaches at the Institute for Gender and Development Studies at the University of the West Indies, is an author of 2 books, the poetry and art chapter book Saltwater Healing, and scholarly award-winning book Resisting Paradise through activism, writing, and art. Angelique Nixon strives to disrupt silences, affirm healing, and carve spaces for resistance and desire. Let's make some noise for Dr. Angelique B. Nixon.
That's good. Hi, everyone. I can't see you all. This light is really there, but yes. I have a few pieces for you. Thinking about queer resilience. This one is new, and it's called Phenomenal Pussy.
Did he call?
Yes. Perfect. This pussy at 40 plus 8, been through the most, but still here, still queer, fierce. This pussy is fabulous, a superstar, persistent, wondrous, creative, mysterious, profoundly determined. This pussy is healing generational trauma. This pussy has gone through fires, droughts, flooding, heat waves, hurricanes of emotion, earthquakes of desire, ebbs and flows, rivers of honey. Through rainy season, dry season, climate chaos, unpredictable seasons. This pussy awoke early, survived abuse, found healing beyond damage, survived religious fear, endured with scars, got through teen years, battles of respectability and self-hate like a phoenix reborn. This pussy has been adulting, working hard, playing harder. This pussy is full of soul, still wet, still got moves, still vibrant, hot, still in control, in motion. And yeah, this pussy has changed. Maybe these days are quieter, waning and waxing desires. But this pussy be ready, be thirsty, be open, be divine. In these 4 zeros, decade of midlife, parapause leading to the change, libido flickering like the end of usefulness, so they say, but nah, this pussy has energy. Alive, pulsing, dynamic, mature, magical, metamorphosis. We don't stay the same. Aging, too often wrapped in shame, but I release regret. Not to say that it ain't hard, because let me be real, aging can be like a sukuyon. But it activates something else, something like perspective, distance, lessons, deeply rooted being and becoming. I embrace long evenings of laughter and furious dancing, mindscapes into self and community love, recharging the soul and pathways, bursting with queer joy and freedom. I hope we're all bursting with queer joy and freedom. Yes? Okay, good. This one is called When Dragons Return to Earth. I start with an epigraph. Thinking about queer resilience, one of my favorite poets is June Jordan. And I think she has taught us so much about how to resist and how to do that in all of our queerness and all of our full selves. This is from one of her poems. I start the poem with this. I was born a Black woman, and now I have become a Palestinian. Against the relentless laughter of evil, there is less and less living room. And where are my loved ones? It is time to make our way home. Making our way home, it is time, says June. We must remake our home, remake this world, or reimagine for our ancestors from before and now, for our siblings from Gaza to Sudan to Congo to Haiti. Now is beyond time to incite resistance through our daily existence, to boycott, join social movements, work for justice, carve spaces for peace, to end violence, to imagine another world outside colonial horrors. How must we conjure it into possibility? I first saw them in the clouds, the dragons, rising in another dimension, not quite here, but there, in a new world outside. They escaped this earth, found sanctuary among the stars in another galaxy on a planet with 3 moons. They left us, dragon magic, buried deep in the oceans, transmutations. Each time we resisted, claimed our power, each time we refused to be contained, their magic infused us with rage, energy, resilience. Beneath a crimson cloak of night, they returned. Dragons entered Earth's atmosphere upon orange-red vapor, dancing across the sky. Blood moon rises. Take flight, they whispered. Your time has come for Black, brown, indigenous liberation. No more will our blood, pain, trauma power this capitalist genocidal hellscape. It is time to take back our bodies, our land, our resources, rebuild our consciousness, our living room. In shadowed depths, the dragons infuse salt water into mangrove forests, weaving their magic, transmitting ancestral messages, channeling blood, moon power. Bind your belly, they whisper. The time has come. We stories clash into an obeah symphony, woven in our blood and tissue. Revolutionary defiance grows like a mycelium network, visioning other worlds, another way to live, activate our imagined lives, refashion this world, power up unfinished revolutions, ready ourselves for the end times, they say. Starting over is the only choice. So, will we rise unyielding and ready? Will we build a world anew beyond shattered dreams? Will we activate cosmic hope with our loved ones? Will we let go and destroy this world and make our way home? My people of the Blood Moon Rebellion, the dragons ask, when will we take back our freedom? And I'm closing with this. We've been here long time. This is what you say to those who want to erase or deny our existence. We born inside this Caribbean bush, resurrected, submerged, flamboyant, salt water blessed. We've been here long time and blissfully queer. Remember how we come from people who had to fuck with norms, gender, and respectability. We come from people not seen as human because of color and race, so much so that sex was another cruel liability. We can never be one thing or the other. We whose bodies have been testing grounds for other people's litmus of being human. We have a right to define our bodies, our desires, our genders, our sexualities through ancestral knowledge, reshaping what was submerged and hidden, what is in we blood. We get to be here. We are here. We are queer freedom. Walk in power.
Thank you very much, Angelique. When you asked me, when CAISO invited me to host, I did not think you had dedicated a poem for me. You're too sweet, you're too sweet. Thank you, right? Our next performer is Yesha Townsend. Yesha is a Bermudian, I'm saying that correct, right? We know the country, Bermuda, that's what I mean to say. A Bermudian writer and English lecturer at the Bermuda College. Her work has been published in Bermudian, Caribbean, and British spaces. She's in a band called Donna, okay, and a duo called Icarus. These are cool names, okay. Her writing explores grief, identity, and love through the lens of the Black Bermudian and Caribbean experience. She writes of home, of hurricanes, of Bermudian history, mythology, and folklore. Are we ready to hear Yesha? Let's make her feel welcome.
So my parents, and one of my parents is here, shout out to my daddy, wrote my name unphonetically. So it looks like Yesha, but I promise you it's Aisha, but it's cool. Aisha. But just 2 syllables, like Aisha. Thank you, Daddy, for that, wherever you are. I appreciate this for my whole life. What are you saying? You're cool? Is everyone all right? You're good? You lot look good. So this is my first time in Trinidad, and before I came, one of my best friends was like, yeah, right? It's dope. So look, before I came here, one of my best friends was like, girl, be careful. Trinidad has some of the best food and the most attractive people in the world. And I was like, damn it. Because I don't have no self-control. So I beg, none of you offer me so much as a chickpea, and don't look at me in my eyes, because I'm weak. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do a poem about heartbreak, because I think that's a big part of queer resilience. I think the heart is the most resilient thing that we have. And loving after love is a revolutionary thing. And because, as said, I am a lecturer, so I take every moment as a teachable moment. This poem uses a literary poetic device known as an anaphora. It means that there will be some sort of refrain. The love of your life isn't yours. The love of your life is magic. You learn this, how love moves quickly in flashes and glimpses. You have never been more sure that the love of your life is actually the love of your life. The love of your life loves you back. The love of your life is a 100-year hurricane season. The love of your life is the left side of a monarch's wing in the slight of a chaos theory equation. The love of your life looks radiant in the sunrise. Is the sunrise, is the sun in the morning sliding through cracked blinds, on sheets, on skin, on vertebrae, breaking to spine, spreading to rib. The love of your life is an ancient nursery rhyme. The love of your life can stretch from one ocean to another. The love of your life knows the name of your daughter, whispers it in your ear, braids it into 2 plaits in the morning, slices half a banana and an apple, packs it in a lunch box, and sends it off to school. The love of your life makes a love of your life, and you can't tell the difference between the two. The love of your life has no endings. You regard her like the ocean, the ignorance of man's explorations of its depths. You know nothing about her. The love of your life is every star dead and dying, all iterations of a reincarnate, a ceaseless inferno. The love of your life is the last time you sneezed. Learn yourself something about a violent reflex, how your lungs convulse, how you collapse and explode over and over. The love of your life promised. The love of your life isn't a promise. She's the underside of a fabulous parabola, some fluency in parcel tongue. You always did love her voice. The love of your life doesn't wake up next to you. You may not be the love of your life's love of her life. The love of your life walks into a bar and orders 2 whiskeys. You didn't know she drank whiskey. The love of your life wants to be happy. She pulls the rain from the sky and makes a sea near her bed. There's no salt, so things sink easily. She throws the memory of you in there. But you're an ocean. You keep bobbing to the top. You're so selfish. The love of your life cries in the morning and under the moonlight. The love of your life makes a love in the moonlight, and it isn't with you. The love of your life, you've made it into a mantra. You only say it to yourself. The love of your life is a Greek myth, all of the myths, the ones chiseled into Mount Parnassus and harvested every year by the muses that live in the sternums of poets. The love of your life is the river Styx, where everything but Achilles' left heel was dipped. The love of your life is why you limp, and you want everyone to feel sorry for you because the love of your life is in love with someone else. The love of your life is a winged victory on a vessel that sailed thousands of years ago. She's still windblown and salt sprayed. The love of your life is the inside of a seraph's eyes. She blinks 1,000 times a day. She lives so many mornings. You're only one of them. The love of your life needs stability. All you do is dream. The love of your life is a grace note, an ornament that you keep throwing into all of your scores. You once wrote a play about the love of your life. It became a screenplay. Meryl Streep starred in it, not as the love of your life, but as her mother. The love of your life is your mother, reforming to clay and dust and clay and dust, a 6-day throwback, 6 feet into the dirt in St. George's. The love of your life is the last prayer you will ever say when your bones have cradled your spirit long enough. The love of your life is the answer you don't know the question of. The love of your life is the fresh dream you ever had, where you woke up crying and forgetting where all the salt came from. The love of your life walks the earth like a titan, like wherever she steps is holy ground. The love of your life is a burning bush. The promised land is just beyond her. The love of your life is the fire next time. The love of your life is a home that you have the luxury to unravel in. The love of your life is unspooled thread pooling on the bed, over the clothes rack, hanging from the desk, remains of sutures you pulled out yourself. The love of your life is all of your house keys that no longer work. You spend most nights yelling from the streets to be let back in. The love of your life is the lie that you knew all along. The love of your life is the sore in your sternum, is the ribcage burnished with ache, is the heart beating itself senseless with wild right hooks. The love of your life is the bruise you soothe, watching it turn from void to pollen, your skin yellowing like some weary birth. The love of your life is the blood you can't carry but spill, a small fountain of bilirubin. In the front of the house, you'll never get those stains out. The love of your life forged thunderbolts in her stomach. The love of your life cut your hair in the middle of the night. She will watch you bring the pillars down without your eyesight. The love of your life supplied the lava pre-Pangea. The love of your life walks into the Sargasso and stills it. The love of your life walks into a bookstore you no longer work in. The love of your life walks into a coffee shop. You walk into a separate coffee shop. The love of your life walks off the side of the earth and into the sky, skips over Neptune and stuffs a couple of stars in her open mouth. And you stare until you can't see her anymore, until your eyes glare over and blind, and you wonder why everyone else isn't looking up, mesmerized and awestruck, lovelorn and terrified, and so impossibly far away. Thank you.
Okay, Bermuda. Okay, Bermuda. Okay. All right. I see what's going on. Okay. Our next performer is an amazing dude. I had the honor of working with him on our Inclusive Futures campaign. Daniel Blaize is a 30-year-old animation director, comic artist, and multi-instrumentalist specializing literacy. Thank God for Bocas Lit Fest. Yeah, specializing in authentic storytelling and immaculate vibes. And I must say, he has immaculate vibes. Let's welcome Daniel Blaize with his song, Brada.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Huh? I can move it. Anyhow, it's fine. No, I need this sound. Yeah. Okay, yeah. All right, good night, Skinner Park. My name is Daniel Robert Blaize. As said, I am an animation director, comic artist, and I've been posting music here and there under the name Prodigal Son for the last 2 years. So this song that I'm going to play for you here is a song that I made for the open mic last year, and it's called Bradaps. And there's going to be a part where you all are going to have to do a call and response with me. And I will let you know again during the middle of the song, but the response is going to be Bradaps. All right, so 2, 3, 4, Bradaps, 2, 3, 4, Bradaps. Right? So I'm going to let all you know when it happening. But just make sure I'm in tune for a second. All right, DJ, run the track. Bradaps. That's the sound of your empire going down. Bradaps, once again in the back for the wrong and strong. Bradaps, that's the sound of your empire going down. You're going down, you're too blasted wrong and strong. That were never ever told. There are stories kept from us to keep us cold, and they would tell you that it's always been this way. Just pray. But through a history we push the status quo, and bigger empires were toppled long ago. No matter how they try to tear us down, they cannot stop us now. So when you see a time for we to go on next, and when you see you wanna keep it crumbling, perhaps that is a kingdom going down, burn it down to the ground. Perhaps that is a kingdom going down, burn it down to the ground. Plenty things they're putting in we way, narratives we fighting to this day. Shun your siblings, stay divided, stay afraid. But there is power that we all behold, so put aside your beef and let we go. We're bound to get together on this road to liberation from this inferno. So when you see it's time for we to collaborate, and when you see your monarchy is shattering, perhaps that is the empire going down, burning down to the crown. Perhaps that is the empire going down, burning down to the crown. Alright, so the part that I'm talking about coming up. So I going to call a country, I'll colonize a country, and call you going to respond perhaps, right? So as an example, 2, 3, from America perhaps to Israel perhaps, right? Like that. 1, 2, 1, 2. From America to Israel, to Britain and the Netherlands, all of Spain, all of France, all of them. All of them. So now you see it's time for we to demonstrate. And when you see a monopoly, we done with it. That is the empire going down, burning down to the crown. That's the goddamn kingdom. Burn it down to the ground. Thank you.
I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. A little bit more noise. Thank you very much, Danielle. Truth, that's a TH, to power, Radaps. I like that song a lot. Let's give a round of applause to Maya, Johanna, and Ian. They're doing our interpretation tonight. Beautiful work, hard work. As my mother always reminded me, you here for your looks? Yes, yes I am, mommy. So thank you so much for that. CAISO team, Angelique, Shivanee, Shaden, all of us inside of here. Come on, beautiful social media manager. Thank you so much. As we're coming back from our intermission, we have a wonderful, wonderful soul that I enjoy seeing perform every single time. Secretly, I wish we'd be best friends, but apparently I'm not good enough. So, Earth is a Caribbean writer, storyteller, and performing artist from Tobago and the Bahamas, whose work is rooted in the Afro-Indigenous and ecological wisdom of the Caribbean. There will be a test at the end of this, so all of you speaking, okay, yeah? They embrace the Caribbean as a living, interconnected whole beyond colonial borders, looking to nature's living, breathing community to inspire them to dream, listen, and imagine, believing in art's power to transform and share the world they've always known with others. Earth will be performing with Ricky. She's a dance and movement practitioner from Jamaica. Yeah. Gorgeous, with some cool piercings. Did you all know to see piercings? No? Okay. Ricky is a Jamaican transgender woman, dancer, and movement practitioner. Through the magical power of song and dance, Ricky brings joy and healing to the global Caribbean community. Their performance will be alongside the music produced by Banksan. Tom Bansi, known artistically as Banksan, is a music producer and content creator from Jamaica who I've had the honor of meeting last year, and really and truly I also want to be their best friend too. He works primarily in lo-fi, R&B, trap, and hip-hop. His work is designed to evoke deep emotional resonance in listeners, crafting beats that speak to both heart and spirit. Let's welcome them to the stage.
The mountain had been calling her long time now. She just wasn't paying attention, not really. The sea was too sweet, the bonfire too hot, the air was too cold. The dancing was about to begin, and she was actually just about to put down a real nice wine when the mountain grabbed she. Yes, grab. 1 minute, her body was there with her, the next pulled hard and steady towards the hills. Confusion held her for a moment, then alarm. How was the mountain doing this? She looked for the rope or cord or string that had to be tied around her waist, but there was nothing. Could it be the wind? No, it was a rhythm that tied itself around her hips and pulled. The mountain didn't ask permission, so she planted her feet, leaned her back, locked her arms and braced. But the mountain insisted. And what was her might against that of the mountain? Well, guess she better be on her way. The elders are like that, and they will call and call, but not say what it is them wants. So she pulled her feet, slow and reluctant, out of the salt water. She walked until grains of sand gave way to mud, gave way to firm earth. And the mountain continued to call. But the mountain didn't just call, the mountain moved her. Heels sank into soil, toes pressed into roots. Legs jerked and stuttered. Arms caught on branches. Her knees pulled by vines, and still the rhythm gripped her waist. And then the trees joined in, their polyrhythms humming in her chest, and the rhythm continued. Her knees buckled, the wind caught her, and the tempo marched on. It wasn't just the mountain. The whole island was dragging her up there. And then she arrived. The mountains, the trees, the earth all went silent. And the island spoke. Instructions? That was the drag she all the way up here for? Work? At this hour, no less? Nah, she didn't want that. Fire was still crackling back at the beach, the music waiting on her. Nah, she couldn't do this. But the mountain softened. If she didn't want the task, she could leave. And so she did. Turn around and head right back. And as soon as her feet touched the back, she passed, she forget to know. She forget the instructions. She forget why the mountain calls. She forgot all of that. All she could remember was the music back at the beach. And by the time she arrived in the village, the music was loud. Someone asked what it was the mountain wanted, why they'd called her up there. She couldn't even remember. Something trivial. The elders were like that, ain't? Sometimes she swear they call and call just to watch you in your face, like them don't even want anything. And just like that, her feet started to move to the drums. Her hips loosened. Her arms stretched long. And the island laughed low and quiet beneath her. The mountain watching from above. Words were too fragile. They'd never ask her to carry something that weak. So they tucked it in her muscles, in her joints, in the curve in her back, in the sway of her hips. And as she danced and her body moved, everyone watched, learning the instructions she carried. How did it go? Like this? And by daybreak, everyone would know the instructions. They could see it, the color in her hips, the melodies in her arms. And when the day came that they needed the instructions from the island, their bodies would remember. They'd remember the time one of their own went up to the mountain and returned. They'd remember what she brought back. They'd remember that mountain do call for no reason.
Sickening. Sickening. It won't work, okay? It won't. No one told me I had to stretch before I come to host this show, okay? Putting me to shame. Our next performer, is a Bocas special guest writer, Linzey, Corridon. Yeah. Linzey. No, you can keep clapping. You can keep clapping. Okay. Beautiful. Linzey is a writer, scholar, and a PhD candidate in the Department of English and Cultural Studies at McMaster University. His critical and creative research has been published widely. His first book, West of West Indian, was shortlisted for the 2025 OCM Bocas Prize for Caribbean Literature. Okay. And named one of the best books of 2024 by the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. Born and raised in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, he currently resides in Hamilton, Canada. Let's make some noise for Linzey and Carrie. Come!
So, apologies. Everyone in the back can hear me? Yeah, I see a hand. I think I see a hand. All right, shout out to CAISO. Shout out to this space. Shout out to everyone for being here. This, when I was 18, if I had this living in St. Vincent, I probably would have never left. So it's just great to be here and to be here with all of you. All right, so my first book is called West of West Indian, and it's basically a love letter in an ugly way, in the sense that I do sit with both the ugliness but also the beauty of queer Caribbean life. So I really encourage everyone in this room to think about reading it, think about picking it up and engaging with it. It is available at Paper-Based Bookshop for anyone who might be interested. This piece is from the collection. Unmute. Bellow into the wind all weakness, rooted in the fears of an overbearing society, the one that robs you of your fierceness for life, a country that drains your fierceness. Let the current take with it the burden of your ancestors, a toll taxed with the memory of a nation, struggling to accept that which is sown into the land, into the cane, into the coffee, into the cotton, into the sweat dripping down the forehead of your great-grandfather who tried to love a woman in the hopes that he might outrun his queer transgressions. Feel the air lift you past the disquiet of your auntie in the hopes that he might, in the hopes that, whoa, what's going on? See, I didn't bring a book with me and this is like throwing me off. Feel the air lift you past the disquiet of your auntie, the one who would visit Trinidad to indulge in her female friend, the companion who never earned a name, a face, her body bursting with affection of the flesh, for your auntie who preferred tank tops and cargo shorts and flip-flops, paired with alluring red lipstick and a face full of makeup. Auntie's own tiny rebellion against an unsympathetic consciousness of a region denying her embeddedness. You are in the sky now, between the earth and the stars, free to write your own history of desire, able to make love to your partner in all three spaces, below the earth, above the sky, between the stars as they ravage you, as you delight in him, as all five bodies devour each other. We unmute history with every touch, every sigh, every tear, paying homage to our decadent ancestries. So this year's theme is always coming home, and it's just a coincidence I so happen to be at Bocas this year while this is the theme. And I wrote this piece, and it felt like this is the space to probably recite this piece. So this is Apologia for Home. Home calls, and I shudder. A feeling of uncertainty colors my face. The time has come for me to listen, to answer the summons, to be vulnerable with constellations beyond brewed tea, my partner's touch, a disbelief in God. The present was never going to be enough. I traveled through portals to become a herald of history, evidence of a species that never quite lived, a product in but not of time. Home will never be one place, a single emotion. It took me 15 years to accept this fate. Today, home is 14 days on 2 alien islands across the Caribbean archipelago. And everything at home seems so pretty. The sky bows and begs me to stay. I begin to sense something intimate in the arch of the sun's setting rays, in the slope of the leaves under the arch of the setting sun. And the weight is not only heavy, it is a light pressure against my forehead, a hand tremoring across my chest, the feeling of volcanic soil under my feet, ready to cushion my fall. And I begin to understand home. And I say sorry for all of the bad things I ever thought and said and felt. The seabirds traversing island waterways carry with them no visible traces of loss. So why does home require mourning? I attempt to conjure a life before a decade of winters above the archipelago. I whisper to lizards about the worlds I've built elsewhere, and I plead with the Exoras lining the Airbnb to take me back. So sometimes folks ask me if I have a favorite poem in the collection, and I would say this is it. So I'll end with this piece. This is The Shape of Love. Where I come from, the sea caresses fresh waters. It summons passageways, symbiosis, collecting our ugliest regrets and storing them, an endless record of the living, a constant reminder of the dead. This is a promise of togetherness for all eternity. It is a story both old and new. They say we are trouble, unnecessary problems. I say to you, we are love, autarky, and violence. Where I come from, funny men self-select, free to self-immolate, a rum bottle in one hand, fractured desire in the other. How easily misanthropes slip into old ways, into belief that we couldn't see stars, even though many of us are always ablaze, the pages of our lives lit up, anti-man, no biblically secular. It is always the powerful, charged with recording melodies who right us wrong. I'm arranging a perpetual song, one sustained by fortissimo bridges and refrains syncretizing relief. You see, I'm unlearning cycles, rhythms, and silences of remembering how to speak, how to smile, how to frown, how to be proud of the twist in my hips, the glow of my skin in the shadows, how the pressure of my voice echoes into centuries past because of these words, the miracle of becoming embodied flesh and power. I'm unlearning love of the ugliest kind, swapping stones and blades for empathy, escaping the fire and brimstone into the sea. I ebb and flow like the morning tide, caressing the shores, the land of my birth, escaping the hands and leaving them prune, making space in their funnied toed and fingers for love. You see, I'm learning to teach the broken about the damaged. Thank you, everyone.
Linzey Corridon. Thank you very much for sharing those pieces with us. I don't need the other mic, do I? Sorry. Our next performer, I always feel shy. I feel very intimidated, but get it together. We have Shivanee Ramlochan. Shivanee, or Novel Niche, as you may fondly, be familiar with her work, is a poet and critic from Trinidad and Tobago, author of Everyone Knows I Am a Haunting, and and festival and program manager of Bocas Lit Fest. Her first book of poems, I like it, keep snapping, go on. Her first book of poems was a finalist for the People's Choice TNT Book of the Year, and shortlisted for the 2018 Forward Prize for Best First Collection. Doing it on them your very first time. Okay. Well done.
Thank you, BackChat. Thank you, Colin Robinson. Thank you, all of you. I don't know about you, but I have been needing, in the past little while, to hear something said to me. So I hope, if I say it to you, you'll say it back. 3 times, is that okay? You are not illegal. You are not illegal. You are not illegal. Thank you. This poem is about 2 men in Trinidad counting to each other in love. And I'd like to dedicate this reading to my dear friends, Tom and Josh, who, while not Trinidadian men, are indeed here tonight, all the way in the back, and have taught me a lot about what it means to be happy and free in love. I love you too. An abacus. Oh, it's not about them. Very important. An abacus for the decriminalization of sodomy in Trinidad and Tobago. One law saying what we put inside our bodies no longer looks like torture. 2 men kiss on the steps of the High Court, and it tastes like a poem. 3 teaspoons of sugar in your morning coffee
the way you took it when we were still illegal. 4 preachers on the steps of the judiciary showering us in Bible spittle to show us we still are. 5 times our parents rebuked us in the name of everything holy. At your mosque, my mandir, the marketplace, while you sobbed in the arms of green and yellow mangoes. At the funeral of your sister's child, plus that final place I'm too sick to name. 6 skirts sewn in the mass camp, glitter and glue till we shimmered to the colors of disco and dance hall, made for the 6 drag queens to hitch up high before those members of parliament who scorned them out loud but rushed to fuck them sotto voce, fumbling $100 bills in blue bouquets, all molasses sweet in private clubs. Someone once told me there were 7 steps to an exorcism of my own faggotry. They led me, blindfolded, into the bush, whipped the backs of my knees with a rattan cane, left me bleeding and thirsty in the wilderness like any common Christ without a cross to mask my rage. In 8 days, I dream both islands flood from torrential rains, from Port of Spain to Cedros, from Charlottesville to Kilguin Bay. As I writhe in your hairy arms, still not legal enough to be my husband, the watery scum covers everything. Fruit stalls, fermenting bodies. 9 nights in Trinidad is for celebrating the dead. When our mentors died, the men who taught us how to run from Babylon, line our eyes in kajal, take a lover down our throats with all the skill of swallowing swords, we lifted their bodies from the morgue without ceremony, took them to our own homes, washed their hands and the soles of their feet like any sacred Christ. We know how to tend our fallen, to sing the songs of their gayness and their industry, their queerness and their laughter, letting their memories sink into our floorboards, scuttle like fruit bats in our leaky roofs. 10 years from now, a man who looks like me will kiss a man who looks like you, and lover, little husband, nothing about it will be news. May I see by a show of hands everyone who loves women? Also, may I see by a show of hands everyone who loves mangoes? This poem is for you. In the spirit of dedications of readings this evening, I'd like to dedicate this reading to the badass, brilliant, and beautiful Ashley Burnett. This poem is not about her. It's not about her. Glossary written by the wife of the world. Say, frangipani, flute your tongue around the petals like a lover being born to the world. Say, salmon, bless the brown ribs, hold the brown trunk till sap slithers from branches to anoint your hair. Say, bougainvillea, while knowing this love will never tie your mouth down. Say, sacrament. Say, wedding cake. Say, ravens cawing into the wet maw of the wildness you and I make every bird of creation calling us by the names we know and never recognize till we, too, sprout wings from our brown backs. Unsay death. You can do this in my arms. You can do this while the coffee shrieks velvet. You can do this all night long. You can do this until one of our mothers comes. You can do this until we become one of our mothers. You know, to unsay death is to divorce translation. Your dictionary of longings lies sprawled across my naked lap, spine bent and pages leaking. Lift out each letter that lives between us, lover. Thread it through your nostril like you are choosing your first gold. Some say, when I step from my home in the cradle of dawn, barefoot and wandering the dirt roads for love, that I sound like I am undoing paradise, teething syrup, simply by looking for you. Some say lesbians are the long road to perdition, shrikes of sour hair, unstemmed cherries sexing their private parts into a dusty futility. Some who say all they say should have been born without the instruments of speech. Better to offer them to a casuarina, an ambulance airlifting burn victims, a pair of latex stockings laced with promise to the Pope. Darling, it is important that you listen only to your heart and the mangoes. When we say we have known love, we atlas each other, hips to hollow throat holes, vulvas to vertebrae, arm hairs on armchairs, and all the million other places we have made magic from the marriage of fuck, of cunt, of you, coming into my arms like the stenographer of my chest cavity, your keyboard, attuned to the rise, fall, the rise, and fall, the rising, fall, the rise, rise to fall. Shh, darling, don't say anything more.
It's hot in here all of a sudden, boy. When somebody go and write a poem like that for me, boy, yeah. Shivanee, what is this? Our next performer, I think everyone is excited to hear. Alexis Pauline Gumbs is a queer black feminist, love evangelist, and an aspirational favorite cousin to all life, actually. She's the author of the award-winning Survival is a Promise, The Eternal Life of Audre Lorde, my personal Lord and Savior. If you don't know about her, I'll let you know. And several other award-winning works of poetry and nonfiction. The Anguilla Literary Festival has called Alexis the Pride of Anguilla. Who here is the pride of? Okay. She's currently working on her next book, Love is Life Force, inspired by June Jordan and Fannie Lou Hamer. Let's welcome to the stage Alexis Pauline Gumbs.
Hello, family. I'm so happy to be here. This entire night has been such evidence of resilience. I want to say out loud that I know that Audre Lorde, Joe's Lord and Savior, and also the great poet of Bayesian and Grenadian heritage, would be so in love with this room, with the work of CAISO that is life-saving, And so I'm going to start with a moment from Survival is a Promise, The Eternal Life of Audre Lorde. So proud to bring this to you. I want Audre Lorde's name to be sung by the school children of every island of the Caribbean. So if you can help with that, let's make that happen. Smelling the wind. Signs of water wear creep at the edges. Dustings of mold find their own stability and shape. I touch them carefully, these copies of Audre Lorde's books that survived the hurricanes shipped from St. Croix into my hands. Audre's own copies of the books she wrote. These are treasures. The guidebooks say I should wipe them with denatured alcohol, but first, I breathe them in. I sit in a clinically clean temporary office in Minnesota, but my tongue remembers how salt air in the Caribbean rots the engines out of new cars. My skin remembers how the sun sometimes takes as much as it gives. I spread the books out across my office floor gingerly so as not to disturb the microorganic skin cells and sand particles that made it through the shipping process. I long for a microscope to find the fingerprints, the pressure and release, the evidence of survival. Instead, I choose a high contrast filter and send Dr. Gloria Joseph a selfie of me lying on the floor with the books surrounding my head. I am crowned for a moment by this slightly distressed rainbow. The threadbare maroon cloth of a once-soaked hardback, chosen poems old and new. The bold red of the second edition of Zami, faded across the spine. The blood words of our dead behind us over the black and white image of 3 elder Amazon warriors. Coal, silver, like the moon through soot. The washed out yellow of the first German translation of A Burst of Light that must have been sitting in a window, and the blue clouds of the American edition of the same book. The black of Hugo, Hell Under God's Orders, flecked with a light show spiral of dashes. The beige of an uncorrected proof of undersong that has known both floodwater and sun. The creased sky blue, or is that Caribbean sea blue, of Sister Outsider. The grayscale of 3 copies of Cables to Rage with Audre's face on the cover, folded into staples, now sienna with rust. From the best angle my wrist can manage, it looks like Audre is looking back at me, skeptical in triplicate through her black, thick-framed glasses. How did you do it? I whisper, reluctant to get up off the floor. How did you survive? I think about those elders and ancestors who have saved my life and have made our survival possible, and I really do think about how they survived without the them that they were for us. And I hope you read Survival is a Promise. Colin Robinson of BackChat Royalty, Ancestral Guide, laughing at us, shady sweetness, brilliance, has a small moment in this book as well. And this is dedicated to my father, Clyde Gumbs, who is an ancestor. He, grown, straight, cis West Indian man who, after learning about Audre Lorde, was like, oh, I'm a queer Black feminist too. So I appreciate him. And this comes from Undrowned, Black Feminist Lessons from Marine Mammals. The scientific community believes that the Caribbean monk seal is extinct. The last verified sighting was in 1952, a couple of years before my father was born. Turns out, one of the very first things Columbus and them did when they got to the Caribbean was kill monk seals, 6 of them, immediately upon arrival. They say the Caribbean monk seal, born black and proud, was never afraid of the colonizers. And in fact, they remained curious and calm. And the colonizers continued to use their own methods, which were fear-based and not calm at all, and genocidal. The oil in the blubber of Caribbean monk seals literally lubricated the machinery of the plantation economy. Without it, nothing could function. It is said that some plantations in the Caribbean required hunts for monk seals every single night so that the machinery for processing sugarcane could be smooth the next day. I cannot say that my father was a Caribbean monk, though there were a few transplanted and held in the New York Aquarium before he was born. They believe that by the time the Caribbean monk seal was placed on the endangered species list, it was already extinct. I cannot say that Clyde Gumbs, who died of prostate cancer diagnosed too late, was a Caribbean monk. I cannot say he was a monk at all. I can only say he had very few earthly possessions, and he wore the same outfit every day. I can say, yes, he had habits and rituals. I can say when he lived in the Caribbean, he observed the sunrise and sunset every morning and evening, squinting through a small digital camera. I can say, yes, he was curious and calm, and some people took advantage. I can say he was born black, but I cannot say he was never afraid. What he died from, the opposite of a healthcare system, a machine that turns Black death into sugar, yes, I can say it is genocidal. Sometimes, usually in Haiti or Jamaica, people swear they see a Caribbean monk. The scientific community believes this is impossible, saying they are probably hooded seals out of range. But if you happen by some miracle to see him, will you tell him I say thank you for being black and curious? Thank you for being calm and brave, and that I honor you for continuing to be who you were no matter what they tried to turn you into, despite their hunting every night? And say I love you with a sweetness not of sugar, but of salt that won't dissolve. I love you with a black outliving empires in your name. Sunrise, sunset. Thank you.
Well, boy, I wanted to feel important again, so I left my mic there. Yeah, I'm using this one instead. Thank you. Thank you so much, Alexis. I'm assuming you brought a copy of Undrowned for me, a signed one already. You are so kind, so kind. Let's give a round of applause for CAISO Blues Cafe. I don't think it's a secret that CAISO, right? A salute to the arts, culture, and community. They've been around for many, many years, always supportive, always a vibe. Lovely space for us to be in. For those of you all who don't remember, to the back, that's where our community food drive is taking place. So if you've brought donations, food or otherwise, you can please place it to the back. We have QR codes, I believe, are posted, so that if you can't make a cash donation, you can donate to support CAISO's work via an online transfer. And we accept all banks. Yeah? If you have cash donations, Johanna, and Angelique are the ones you give them to. And like I said before, if you make a mistake and give it to me, it's going to one queer person. It'll make my life better. Our next performer is Lesley-Ann Wanliss. Yeah. Lesley-Ann is a BackChat visiting writer, a teacher, developmental editor, writing coach, and CEO of LA Wanliss Editing and Consultancy. She holds an MFA in creative writing from UWI St. Augustine and was longlisted for the Commonwealth Short Story Prize and Bocas Emerging Writers Fellowship in 2024. In addition to her poetry chapbook Imago, L.A. Wanliss is published in various international and Caribbean journals. She is a theater director of Jamaica National Pantomime 76th show, Channel 876, and the host of Your Best Story, a podcast for editors and writers. Her short film Bright Sparks is presently in production. Is there anything Lesley-Ann doesn't do? Anything? Let's welcome Lesley-Ann to the stage. Thank you so much.
I real short. Short. Yeah, I can go a little low and then I can pull the mic up so they can see my face because I'm cute. Yeah, and then I pull the mic up so I get full and then they can see me because I'm cute. That's the other thing I do. I do cute. All right. Good night, everyone. I really can't see anyone, but I can see what's in front of me, and you're here for what's in front of me. Okay. I want to say this before I start. I want to say thank you, CAISO, for inviting me. Thank you for thinking of me as worthy enough, which I know I am, but also for you thinking of me as being worthy enough. It's great when people see you the way you see yourself. And then to the rest of you, I want to say that this story is about memory, because part of what it means to be Caribbean is to remember and to forget and to remember. And so this story is written in parts, and it's partially my memory, given to a character who is not me or never was me. And it's written in parts because it's part of a memory. And the part that I'm offering you is my through and my response to films that talk about what it means to be haunted. I know you know the one that I can't name right now, because memory. It just come out. What's the name of this one? Anyway, Sinners. Jeez. You have me nervous. All right, and also it's called Rolling Calf, and it's a call to Nala Hopkinson's story that involves a rolling calf that I can't remember. That was for humor. All right, let's go. I swear I'm ready for this. Exhale. No, sir, what this place there? Up at God where I go? I hadn't been back here in years. My stomach reminded me, it churned. I tasted its acid. Candice seemed unfazed, focused on the road. She clung to me, wrapped her fingers around the back of my arm, her nail beds resting against my breast. I slowly pulled away and leaned against the door. Fuck, it's like this girl don't know time and place, boy. Nothing here was smooth. The dips and bends of dried waterways and diverted streams were converted to bumpy, slippery concrete and river stone roads. Massive stones sprayed paint like a rite of passage, a portal with a message for the people passing through. Jah guide, Rastafari, no weapon that rise against I shall prosper. Protect us, Jah. Beside them Stalls filled with fresh fruits and vegetables on wooden and iron pedestal, rum bars and shops braided with red, yellow, and green signs for brands. Yet no one called out their wares or pushed for a sale. Those who stayed here were like the land, hovering, doing their duty with no haste. They watched quietly or peculiar invasion. Who would move here when everybody wanted to leave? I left 10 years ago, left the opposite side of the mountain, but this was home, the nip of the air, the smell of pine trees, the shaded greens and brown, curved the distant hills, the trees that touched the clouds, the high grass manicured from the distance, the brown spots of concrete houses unfinished, such wild abandon. I knew the ghosts that roamed these hills. I was raised with them like bedtime stories. My uncle told stories of the rolling calf and old high cooling down in the mountain. It was like their fires were drowned by the dew that became the fog that drifted across the mountain skies. As we walked home from church on dark and ominous Sunday nights, when my cousins were in a mood, they would insist that there was a possessed calf and stopped to ensure I heard the rattle of its chain. The fiery rolling calf engulfed with flames running with a chain that unbounded, charred and smoking. As they raced away, they would leave me behind, my legs locked, stuck in fear, ears perked up to their screams of laughter, unable to move. One windy night, after Uncle's story time, my cousin, the youngest, was sent to catch the water for the morning breakfast. Less than 3 minutes in, when the trees squealed against the breeze, she raced into the house, her bucket empty, her feet trembling, her voice rattling like a percussion instrument. "The donkey kicked the cow and the pipe top drop off, mommy." We knew the pipe stand was miles away from where the animals were locked in their separate pen. This was the one time that the joke was not on me. But I'd heard that there were greater things to fear than old folk tales. I came home to avoid the monsters of Kingston, high rent prices and violence. I was exhausted. To the chagrin of the driver, the truck crawled through the one-lane road, falling into the potholes and pushed itself back up. "We'll get there soon enough," I said. And a mongoose darted across the road and forced the driver to slam his brakes. Candy screamed. Her nails found my forearm, and she buried her head into my shoulder. Yo, old boy, watch yourself, no star." Sorry, all right? Blasted mongoose. The mongoose turned back. The old folks would have told me that that meant I too should have, but I couldn't. Everything in the mountains beyond the greenery and the seclusion lurked in these old folk tales and their rituals. How much further? There. We're home. Part 2. I pointed to one of the 3 modern design trailer houses in front of us. I stared at the old pink house, its windows and doors boarded up, its concrete cracked and faded, paint faded. No one lived there. It stood as an overseer over the acreage, a quaint relic amidst the newness. A chill ran down my spine. "Blouse cup them nice, see? A foreigner build them." The wind pushed a trail of smoke between the truck and our new home. The fire breathed at the front of the entrance. Downhill, Mr. Sharp looked out into the greenery. "It's the landlord, eh?" My uncle knew Mr. Sharp from the market and vouched for me as a tenant. And I suppose that he told him that I was strange and been through some things. "Nice man. Little door," the driver continued. "Nothing survived. Even our houses were warped by time." I stared at the pink house, bolted, shut. There was something sinister about it all. "Mr. Sharp, the house didn't look the way I saw it the last time. How is that old lady?" I recalled Mr. Sharp's anger weeks ago when he told us of Tracy and the house. Tracy was his grandmother's closest friend, and her daughter had some degrees that were, let me read that again, because that lost. I recall Mr. Sharp's anger weeks again when I told her of Tracy and the house. We told us of Tracy and the house. Tracy was his grandmother's closest friend, and her daughter had more degrees than they were stars. The daughter and Tracy, as far as he knew, had a falling out and they no longer spoke. So she had stayed with Chauncey, his grandmother. But after Chauncey died, he thought she would pay some rent or do something to help. Instead, she captured the house and everything in it. Pictures, clothes, documents, furniture, all belonging to his family, and he never retrieved it. He held my hand, drew me closer to the building, and far away from the ear of Candice and the movers. I should have called and said this to you, but Tracy died a week ago. Sunday gone, we bury her. Is you one on the land? But I'll check on you ladies in the mornings after I come from bush. Something else was implied here. Something we knew about death and the houses and people who never want to leave. 3. I couldn't take my eyes off the things. I had locked in what it was before it began to burn. Sharp's gonna burn down that building, you know. We sat in the wicker chair, me with a drink, Candies curled like a baby in my lap. In the house, boxes cluttered the floor, everything we own hidden and stacked in the corners waiting for its place. We should put up curtains. I don't want anyone peeping on you tonight, I said. She smiled. 4. I wandered through the house, absorbing the musty smell, the coldness of the floor, the dampness of the walls, the way the night was more blue than black. I loved this place. The sounds of night filled up the space, the breeze pushing the trees against the zinc roof, raking the branches like nails against glass. The river's trickle amplified. The hills at night had its meaning of silence. Nothing slept here, just held its breath a little longer. As Candice slept, I knew she wanted me to cuddle in this new house. I stared at her. I stared at the decision I'd made to move in with her, to let this be longer than a booty call, to take her seriously. I held my 3rd drink of rum. My palms felt clammy. I took another sip. I loved her body, the thickness of her thighs, the flatness of her stomach, the way I could imagine her entire generation when I stared at her face. I loved that she moved the way adult women move, with babies and houses and responsibility, purposeful, aware that time was of the essence. I loved watching her fumble in the kitchen, unable to prepare anything but eggs. I loved the way she sat on the floor and watched me in the kitchen. I loved the way she devoured my food, sometimes even forgetting to chew. I swear I'm ready for this. I swear I'm ready for this. I took a walk outside and took another sip. It was almost 3 a.m. I could see all the stars in the sky. I relaxed in the wicker chair and poured another drink. There was a chill in the air. Someone out there? The woman stood with her hands akimbo. She was old, no walking stick, no crooked back, a wrinkled double chin and soft fat dangling under the skin of her upper arms. The starlight made her seem as if she'd been on fire and was recently put out. She reminded me of an old woman who would come around my uncle's house when I was a child and chase me for kisses. I would spend the whole time screaming my head off while the entire family watched and laughed. Their heads turned upwards from the belly full of laughter that they got out of it. Not one of them to save me. Oh, such a beauty. Such a pretty, pretty little girl. Come and give the old nursey a kiss. She felt like old Hike. She made my skin crawl. Oh, are you? Huh? You find her? Who? You're secretive now. Well, I guess you had to learn. What you talking about? Who are you? You know what to do. Or you're just going to keep running. Huh? I gone for my walk. At this hour? Yes. I can never leave this place, and you know that. That's why you come back. Look here, miss, I said. Tracy. My name Tracy. Her skin turned red and orange with hints of blue. The glass fell from my hand, shattering on the wooden floor. What the fuck was that? Thank you.
I'm good here. Thank you so much, Lesley-Ann. Let me make sure I'm getting the name correct. Wanliss. Lesley-Ann Wanliss. No, that's some powerful writing. Powerful stuff. We're going to shake things up a little bit right now. We're bringing back one of our performers from last year, Miss Khaleesi. Khaleesi. You'll realize everybody name getting massacred tonight, you know, from Asha. Did I get it right this time? Asha? No? Aisha? It's close. Aisha, right? And then Wanliss, okay. And now we have Miss Khaleesi. Did I get that right now? Miss Khaleesi performed at BackChat last year, and not a heart was left untouched. Let's welcome her to the stage for reflections.
Why is my reflection someone else? affection show. Who I am inside.
Beautiful. That blue is amazing on your skin as well, huh? Did you know I sound exactly like that when I sing too? Same. Same. Do you want to hear a sample right now? No, you can't afford that. Okay, so our next performer is a mark when it comes to performance. This mesmerizing lady is the embodiment of beauty, without a doubt. With every twirl, hair toss, and soft stroke, she enchants her audience and casts her spell. She exudes grace, elegance, and poise, and showcases unmatched, timeless taste. Help me welcome your ethereal goddess, your reigning diva, and your forever doll, Yasmin Dubois.
I don't need you to love me. I've got my sister. I can feel her now. She may not be here, but she's still mine, I know. She still loves me. Got my house, it still keep the cold out. Got my chair when my body can't hold out. Got my hands doing good like they supposed to. Showing my heart to yes, I'm beautiful. And I'm I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me.
I did not know we were going to end up in church tonight. Wow. That was really amazing. Yasmin Dubois. Thank you so much for that amazing performance. Did you all see me doing backup dance? I was over here. I was giving too. I'm going to welcome Angelique to take the mic. And we say thank you.
To say thank you, yes. I know that I am in between more drinks and wrapping up the evening, so we are going to do this very quickly. We at CAISO are so grateful to be able to do this work and to support spaces where queer creativity and imagination are uplifted and celebrated. So give yourselves a round of applause for being here. Thank you so much. And we invite you to join us in this work. Let us keep building community together. Bring your ideas, your creativity, your power. There are many ways to get involved with CAISO's work. Please visit our table. Make sure that you connect. Sign up for the CAISO Quarterly. Sign up for our new WhatsApp group, community group, and get involved. We have lots of things for you, so please take them and get in touch. So my job is to just give special thanks to everyone who made this event possible. Our fabulous host, where did Joe go? Joe Johnson! Exactly. Open mic performers and our featured performers. We had 16 people. 16 performers, everyone. So please, let's just, so grateful for each and every one of you. I want to give thanks also to our curation partners, Novel Niche and Trans Coalition of Trinidad and Tobago. Also thanks to Queer Livelihoods Project, who's made this growth of BackChat possible. Our sign interpreters, Maya, Joanna, and Ian. Our videographer, Deneth and team. The venue, CAISO Blues, and all of the staff, thank you. The Bocas Lit Fest team and all of the visiting guests who are here, welcome, thank you so much. And thanks to everyone who brought donations. These are going to go directly to our community, members who are food insecure, and to support those who are most marginalized and vulnerable in our community. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you there's still time, me and Joanna are right here. We take cash. And there are other ways to donate as well. Just get in touch with us and we can help you do that. And finally, to my BackChat organizing team, Shivanee. Where's Shivanee? Shivanee. Thank you. We've been doing this for years, since 2017. Thank you. And to the Bocas Lit Fest for creating the space with us. I want to give a huge thanks to Shaden Alexander, event planner extraordinaire. Where's Shay? Joanna Reyes, boss coordination and community engagement. Nell, for the fabulous promos and social media presence and all that you do for CAISO. And to the rest of the CAISO team, Chinere, Ray, Kathy, woo! And folks who are not here, but we're gonna give them a shout out, Omar, Alessandra, Psyche, Kellogg, Danielle, Akila, Taylor, Francisca, and Nikolai. We are a beautiful, powerful team. And I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who is here. And now we get to dance. We get to dance, we get to have some drinks. We have this space for some more time. We have a DJ. And we have and we have this lovely space. But I don't know if, Joe, do you want to say anything else? Oh, of course, we have to have Joe say the final word. Thank you, Joe.
I really have nothing else to say. I think I've spoken a lot for the night, but I would like to say thank you all so much for being here with us, for participating with us in BackChat. It is a phenomenal time to come together as a community, celebrate our love, talk about our resilience, and really just all talk, you know, right? Who doesn't need a little vibe, a little relaxation? So thank you all very much. If you don't have cash, if you don't have donations, you have a heart, you have a mind, contact CAISO, get in touch with us. There's so much you can do to contribute to supporting our community now more than ever, while we defy Project 2025, okay?